Hello, everyone. My name is Lawrence Mack, and I'm a librarian with LA County Library, and I welcome you to Work Ready, Avoiding Job Scams. Before we get going with today's event, I'd like to take care of some housekeeping and tell you Work Ready started in December of 2020 with the purpose of helping people get a job, improve their work situation, and plan a more sustainable career path. And we do that in two ways. We lend out laptops and Wi-Fi hotspots for 6-week loans out of 27 library locations, breaking down one barrier to applying for a job and getting online training. We also provide virtual events just like this one on a range of work-related topics, from the basics like resumes, cover letters, and interviews, to deep dives into various careers and other subjects that help you succeed at work. And you can see over 50 of those past classes at any time by checking out the work and career playlist on our YouTube channel, which will also be posted into the chat right now. The Work Ready program is made possible due to funds provided by the American Rescue Plan. And next week, we also have another great Work Ready event for you. And that will be all about resumes. It will be from Tuesday, May 7th at 11 a.m. And I also posted that in the chat as well. And your resume is your key to unlocking job interviews. Join career coach Stephanie Nuezi as she reveals how to supercharge this vital document and land your dream role. And again, you can register using the link below. It is free, as are all Work Ready programs and all library programs as well. So be sure to join us there. If you'd like to learn more about our virtual or in-person events, head on over to lacountylibrary.org and click the events link on the upper right-hand side. And now it is on to our presentation. Coming up is Jeff Jacobs. He's a Make-Mo librarian with LA County Library, and he goes around to all the different libraries, community centers, schools, and more to provide STEAM programs for people of all ages. And he's here to tell you today all about avoiding job scams. Jeff, the stage is yours.
All right, thank you so much, Lawrence. Good morning, everybody, and welcome to Work Ready. My voice is a bit weak today, but I do have my water and tea on hand to help me get through. So I will do my best to power through and present this wonderful presentation for you today. Today's presentation will be avoiding job scams. So I will bring that up here on the screen. Just give me one moment. Let me ask my colleagues real quick about a tech-related issue. Be with you in a moment. All right, thanks for your patience. I'm able to bring it up now. I'll put this into presentation mode and then we can get started. Just waiting for the top menu to go away so I can put this in slideshow mode.
Hey Jeff, try hitting F5. That might get going.
All right, thank you. All right, welcome again. So yes, let's get started with avoiding job scams. So if you're in the job market for the first time, if you're job hunting, or if you're looking to get back into it, this is definitely the presentation for you. So can you recognize a job scam? It can be one of the most demoralizing aspects of a job search. Learn the red flags to look for and identify for yourself the common cons in today's job market. So yes, we will be examining job scams in all their different shapes and forms and what you can do to detect and avoid them. So what we'll cover today is job scams themselves, what they are and the types of scams that are out there. Detecting job scams, looking at the telltale signs that job scams have, identifying markers, things that show that they're not legitimate, and avoiding job scams. These will be paths you can take to avoid becoming a scam victim, follow-ups that you can do to make sure as well that nobody else is negatively affected by job scams. We also have some additional resources. We have resources for scam victims. If you do fall prey to a job scam, we do have some resources available that you can investigate in order to file complaints. And we also have some legitimate job sources. So we have some job searching websites that you can access, as well as resources from the LA County Library that we have to offer for job seekers. In addition, there will be a Q&A session at the end of this presentation. So if you do have questions, keep those in mind along the way, and feel free to ask us at the end as they pertain to avoiding job scams, the job market, or avoiding job scams in general. Excuse me. So what is a job scam? Basically, it's a fraudulent scheme where scammers pose as employers and offer false job opportunities. Job scams have really picked up over the last 5 years or so, especially during the pandemic. There was actually an LA Times article from last year, actually, that said that the number of job scam related complaints lodged to the Federal Trade Commission or the FTC actually tripled between 2020 and 2021 from about 7,000 complaints to roughly 21, 22,000. That is a crazy amount. And it just goes to show that how far scammers will go to try to part you with your personal information and your money. And we see that just every day. And this presentation will definitely set you up with the tools to be able to avoid being part of that growing number. In addition to that, the 21,000 reports are huge, but it doesn't account also for the many other people that were scammed and didn't report. So the number could be even greater and might not even know it. So being vigilant when searching for a job is definitely more important now than ever. So what are scammers trying to obtain? As I mentioned, your personal information, information about you, your identity, your address, your name, your social security number, anything that they can possibly get about you that they can use against you or to take your money and labor, as we also listed. Identity theft is a real consequence of a job scam, and so it's really important to be vigilant again when hunting for a job and avoiding those scams. Money is related as well. Part of the job scam often involves parting you with your money in some way, shape, or form, and we'll also explore those as well. And your labor. Once you're part of a job scam, if you apply or you get started, oftentimes the scammer will take advantage of your labor, try to get you to do basically free work for them, whether that's passing money along or passing along junk merchandise. Labor is not as nearly as emphasized as personal info or money in scams, but it's no less a real consequence than the above two. So the types of job scams that are out there, there's kind of a before and an after for job scams. So there's the job scam that you see in front of you when you're applying, and then there'll be the after that we'll move on into the next slide. But to start off with, job scams will immediately take the form of a fake posting or a fake job offer versus in the form of an email or a text message. There'll be telltale signs that a job posting isn't legitimate. Definitely in an email or text message, especially if they just send you just a message out of the blue from a company that you did not apply for, or anything that you did to get in touch with them. You can often find these in reputable job hunting sites, especially ZipRecruiter and so forth. So when you're searching those big sites, definitely important that you keep a watchful eye out, because not every job posting on there is going to be necessarily legitimate. In that same LA Times article that I cited, LinkedIn actually removed about 87.1 million bits of scam or spam content, excuse me, in 2021 alone. So these big websites, they're really popular, but they have to do a lot of work on their end to make sure that people aren't being scammed. And this means identifying lots and lots and lots of job scams on a daily, monthly, and yearly basis. For other types of job scams, these are the scams, as I said, that can occur once you get started, once you apply to a fake job posting or click on a suspicious link in an email or text message. First type is money laundering, where a scammer will ask you to perform a financial transaction for them, usually in the form of a wire transfer or cryptocurrency. At no point would a reputable company that you apply for ever ask for money or finances at any point in the application or recruitment process. So wire transfers through organizations like Western Union or MoneyGram, those are definitely suspicious and something to look out for when doing the application process. Second is a check scam, pretty similar to money laundering, where the job scammer will have the victim cash a bad check to make a large purchase or transfer. Oftentimes with a check scam, there'll be some kind of story that goes with it. Most of the time it's going to be that there's equipment or office items that you have to purchase, that you'll put up your money for part of it and they'll take care of the rest, or they'll reimburse you. Medical equipment is another one. So if, again, like with money laundering, checks should only really be involved with paychecks and not with doing stuff on your end, like purchasing equipment in any way, shape, or form. So be mindful of that if they do send you checks, or if they ask you to immediately check cash, excuse me. The third type of job scam, once the scam is started, is reshipping. This has definitely been a more recent phenomenon, but reshipping often occurs from work from home positions. In the scam here, the scammer will often send you fake or junk merchandise, goods that you can't really do anything with, but they expect you to hold on to it, to send it out, often with your own money. The merchandise not only might be useless, but it might be outright fraudulent. So that's something to keep in mind as well, especially if the goods are illegal or suspect. So definitely be mindful if you do a position that might be remote, and if sending out merchandise is a part of the job description. So be mindful of that. For detecting job scams, this section will be covering the different ways that you can identify job scams, as well as a couple of examples that I'll provide in the following slides. So one of the key points to look at in identifying a job scam is it too good to be true? If you look at the description of the job, you can look at different aspects of it, like what the requirements are, what it pays, what the benefits are. And so this is a really good way to identify whether a job is legitimate or not, from things like if the salary is too high for the position or the area that the job takes place in. If it's remote work, that can often be an opportunity for job scammers to take advantage of potential job hunters. And light job duties, entry level stuff that is basic, doesn't require a lot of intense labor. That might be a telltale sign that a job scam might be at your door, and they might be trying to snare you in. Oftentimes, light job duties with the high salary go hand in hand. If for what the position pays, if it outclasses, or not outclasses, but if there's a discrepancy between what a position pays and what the duties are, definitely something to investigate if you're applying for a position. Second is immediate job offers. With a reputable organization or company, there's definitely going to be an application process that can definitely be lengthy and requires a lot of reference checks and other aspects. So if an organization is offering you something immediate, whether in the form of a text or phone only interview, or they say that they can give you the job right away with no wait, that can also be a possible red flag when applying for a position. Third is the request for personal information. When you apply to a position, you're generally going to have to supply some of your own information, like your name, your address, your work experience, your educational experience, and so forth. But at no point is a reputable company, again, going to ask you for financial personal information, especially if it's related to things like your bank statements or social security numbers, or really sensitive information. That's going to, if they do request that, that's going to usually come after you accept the position and you set up things like direct deposit and things of that nature. But any time before that is definitely suspicious and something to look out for. Misspellings and grammatical errors can also be a red flag, sign of a job scam. Organizations and companies generally are going to want to appear as professional as possible. They're going to want to portray them, or yes, they're going to want to show themselves as a company that you want to work for, that has an eye for details and wants you. So if a message that you receive has a lot of misspellings, if it just doesn't look right, then it's definitely something to look out for. And you can see this in communications as well, through the forms of emails and email addresses. If they're sending you messages that have lots of weird formatting or misspellings, then that's something to look out for. And even looking in the email addresses themselves, as we'll see in the examples that I've provided ahead, sometimes it can be as simple as one or two letters that are off. And that's an automatic red flag right there for somebody who's trying to pose as a reputable or established company or organization. The fifth thing to look out for is being asked for cash or cashing a check up front. Similarly to personal information, and as we mentioned before with the other job scams, At no point in the process should money be changing hands at all. At any point in the application process, definitely a huge red flag and something to look out for when you're applying, when you're in the hiring process. Uh, at no point should you have to wire or send over your own money or pay anyone in any form whatsoever. So definitely look out for that and view that as a red flag for sure. So here is what a job scam text example looks like. I know that this is a real example because this is actually a text message that I received. Yes, this is a text message that I got on March 21st at 8:26 a.m. I totally thought that this was somebody important, but it turned out it was just a job scam. So job scams in text message form will often have this kind of format. You'll have this introduction. Like, hello, I'm Gracie. I come from senior recruiting. We're looking for external employees. They introduce themselves. They offer full-time and part-time positions, saying what they have. They show what you can earn. They show what the benefits are, what the requirements are. No expertise required in this case. Looks pretty good. Yeah, you can earn $200 to $1,000 in just 30 to 60 minutes a day. Um, no expertise required. All you have to do is have a bank account and be over 22 years old. Flexible working hours are always great. Remote work is great as well if you're in the job market and looking for remote work. And the benefits daily rate can range from $300 to $800. Yeah, this looks like a really appealing job and definitely one that I would apply for. But you see at the bottom here that there's this link you have to click on, and that's definitely the first red flag that we see is just a suspicious link that you have to click on. Excuse me. We move on to this key here, and I looked over the job scam and identified a few lines here with this color-coded key that we have, and we pretty much found almost all the identifying signs. Outside of unprofessional formatting, everything here was listed. I come from senior recruiting, definitely vague and unspecific. They don't say who they're from or who they represent. We have the too good to be true factor here, as we underlined in blue. You can earn $200 to $1,000 in just 30 to 60 minutes a day. That is a crazy high salary for that span of time. Again, no expertise required and flexible working hours. This is language you often see in job scams, so definitely look out for that if you receive communications with a potential interview or job offer. Going along with that, we see the benefits daily rate ranges from $300 to $800. Again, just like the $200 to $1,000 in just 30 to 60 minutes a day. It looks really, really appealing, and they're appealing to those excellent benefits that you can receive. But again, it's a red flag, so definitely something to look out for. There isn't an outright request for personal information, but like I mentioned before, they do give you this link to click on at the bottom. It's who knows where that'll lead you. It might lead you to the job application process to get you into the job scams that we mentioned before, or it could just outright be a virus that could infect your cell phone, since this is a text message example. So like with any other link that takes this format that you receive in text form from somebody that you've never gotten in touch with, definitely keep an eye out for that. We also have an email example here of a job scam. Emails a lot bigger as we can see, so there's a lot more room to maneuver, a lot more room to say who they are and appear more legitimate. So if we see here, we see that they have an introduction of their own. Thank you for your email indicating your interest. The job position you applied for has been filled. However, it would be a great pleasure to have you on board working for me as my personal assistant due to your background and experience. Note that you'll be working for me privately. My name is Catherine Giard. I'm looking for a reliable, punctual, and trustworthy person who can handle my business and personal errands. And so it goes on with the introduction and saying who they are, who they represent. We see the duties are included below of the job, kind of like with the text message. We see that you create and modify documents with Office, you schedule programs, flights, and keeping Catherine up to date on them. You act as an alternative telephone correspondence on Catherine's behalf. You making financial donations to charitable organizations. It doesn't sound too bad. It's not your money. So sounds pretty easy peasy. The benefits look great. As we can see below, the 401k, medical, dental, vision, insurance. We always are looking for that when we're job hunting and wanting excellent benefits. So those look really appealing. Bonuses and commissions also look great. Below that, it says the position is remote and does not require you to leave your current employment, which that's great. It's kind of like a side hustle in a sense. You don't even have to quit your regular job. You can just take on this position in addition to what you're doing. And on top of that, the pay is $12.50 a week and you get paid every 2 weeks. Then we have some identifying information from the sender themselves, kind of giving a background on who they are and who they worked for. Member of the board of directors of several companies and other charity foundations. Sounds pretty impressive. And then we go below to the bottom of this email. It says, to proceed and confirm your interest in this position, please provide the following information. We see that with providing your full name, your full address, your cell phone number, and your current occupation. Sounds great. Sign me up. I am all for this. However, as we see in the next slide, there are a ton of red flags just in this one email example below. And I'll take a moment to take a sip. So unlike the text message example, we see examples of all 5 indications of a red flag in a job scam. In this email example alone, with just the introduction, we see that it's immediate and lucrative. Have you aboard working as a personal assistant? It sounds like a great entry-level job, especially for somebody who's well-established, sounding like this individual. We have unprofessional formatting all throughout. We have kind of this random capitalization of privately in the 3rd line. We have another random change in font here. Like, my name is Catherine Giard, and they bold their name for no reason. They keep continuing the large font. I'm looking for a reliable, punctual, and trustworthy person. Like, that keeps going. And then they bring it down to the regular sized font again. Definitely something that a communication would not be there if you were receiving emails from somebody who's reaching out to you for a job position, or at least somebody who's legitimate and reputable. We see in the job duties here, we see more vague, unspecific information. And we mentioned before, the part of the position is making financial donations. Sounds great, but it's definitely vague and unspecific. Who are you making these financial donations to? What are these charitable organizations? And it raises another question. Are you going to be providing any of your own money? You might be donating this on Catherine's behalf, but are you providing your own funds in that? So that's definitely could be part of the scam if you're not careful. We see with the benefits, definitely lucrative, like we mentioned, the 401k, all the medical and dental and vision insurance. Again, that's something that we're always looking for when we're searching for a job. And yeah, this is no different. This is something that they try to lure you in to get you to try to apply, to get you hooked into the job scam. So benefits are definitely part of that. We move on to the third line, or I think the fourth paragraph here, that talks about the position itself. And we get into too good to be true territory. We see that the position is remote and not office-based. Like we mentioned before, you don't even have to quit your current position to take on this role. That is an amazing opportunity, but definitely a big red flag to look out for, that might show that this opportunity might be too good to be true. We move on and see that that the pay is $12.50 a week. Not only is that too good to be true, but so it could be underlined in both blue and green, but we see that it's very lucrative. $12.50 a week is an amazing amount, and you get paid every 2 weeks. Sign me up. Uh, but again, it's a big string of red flags that that this position just looks too good to be true, that it pays way too much for the relatively light job duties that are offered. And then we move on to the bottom here, where Catherine describes herself. A lot of vagueness in this, kind of like with the text message example that I provided. This person doesn't say who they represent or who they work for, just that they work for a board of directors of several companies and charity foundations, but they don't say what those companies and charity foundations are for. They don't say where exactly the position is based, just that that they're looking for a personal assistant. And that we see in the second line that they're holding meetings with partners, but again, they don't say who those partners are. So there's just a lot of vagueness throughout this email, that they're just not giving enough information about what is a potentially important or life-altering position that's being offered here. Like, you would think when you apply that you want to know as much as possible about who you're working for, but this email just reveals none of that. At the bottom, we see the request for personal information in red, a huge red flag that we didn't necessarily see in the text message, but this is kind of that reach out for information that they're trying to get. They're trying to get that personal information off of you. They want your full name. They want your full address. So they want to know who you are and where you live. They want your phone number too, so they can possibly get into the job scam through that as well and open up communications. And they want to know your current occupation, which is very bizarre. At no point in a job application, other than giving your job history, would anybody directly ask what you currently or who you currently work for. So it could definitely be a red flag, especially where identity theft is concerned. All of those are part of identity theft. So be very cautious if somebody requests your personal information. And this email was really no different, just chock full of red flags all around. If you ever receive emails like these, be very careful, and definitely make sure to mark them as spam. So let me take a quick sip. All right, thank you. So avoiding job scams. So we saw the telltale signs, but what can you do to avoid being scammed while you're in the job hunt? First thing you can do is verify the job posting itself. Definitely look at the job posting or communications from somebody with a lot of scrutiny. Research the company itself. Is it reputable and established? Is it legit? Has it been around for a while? Do they have an address or contact information? This is definitely key, because if it's a fake organization, then they're probably not going to have a home headquarters or anything that you could in person. So definitely something to look out for there. In addition, look out for the company email addresses. Look out for misspellings and formatting errors. We mentioned it before, but we have a couple of examples here. Of course, in the communications themselves, look out for formatting issues or grammatical problems throughout, but also look at the email address itself. As we see here in this example, we have jsmith@company.org as our example. It looks pretty basic, looks legit. But if we move to the second, jsmith@company.net, we see an extra eighth one in there. Very bizarre, but at the same time, also a telltale sign that this is not a legit company or representative that you're receiving communications from. So be on the lookout for that. All these you can look at to make sure that the job posting is legitimate. In addition, look at the job title. There's a lot of red flags that go into job scams, but one of the things is the job titles themselves. There's a common thread that goes with a lot of job scams in the titles, and you'll see a lot of the same ones kind of repeat themselves in the job scam. You'll see, in the examples that we have here, assistant, receptionist, delivery driver, warehouse worker, anything data entry can possibly be a red flag. Nanny/caregiver. That really surprised me that I found that nanny and caregiver positions are often portals to portals to job scams, but job scammers are definitely looking for nannies and caregivers to take advantage of and take their personal information and money. So those also pop up as well as mystery shopping. That's more of a recent phenomenon where you'll do purchases and things of that nature on the behalf of a company or organization and getting paid for it, which is great. But mystery shopping can also be a possible job scam as well. So if you look at any positions that have these titles, definitely scrutinize it and look at it very, very carefully. And the third is just get a second opinion. Like with anything else, if you don't feel super comfortable with the job posting that's presented or an email or text message that you got, run it by somebody you know, family, friends, coworkers. It's always good to have a fresh pair of eyes when job hunting and getting that second opinion. So don't be afraid to send it to somebody you trust. They want you to succeed. They want you to be able to get a position to take care of yourself and take care of your family. So nothing wrong with getting a fresh pair of eyes on a potential job that you're interested in. So take a drink real quick. All right, thank you. So what can victims do? If you are the unfortunate victim of a job scam, there are a couple things you can do. So the first is to contact the organization that handled a transaction. If the job scam at any point asked you for money, if they asked you to write a check or purchase a gift card or do a money transfer, get in touch with the organization that handled it to ask them to stop and reverse it. The sooner you do this, the better, especially where banks are concerned and credit card companies. Definitely call them up if you realize that you are the victim of a job scam and ask if you're able to get your money back before it's too late. If a job scam asks you to purchase a gift card, which can definitely is a sign that it was a scam, then get in touch with the organization that issued it. Have the receipts on you too. That'll definitely help you out if you want to get your money back if at any point you purchased a gift card as part of a job scam. Kind of the secondary thing you can do is to get in touch with a watchdog organization. We have a couple here in the Federal Trade Commission and the Better Business Bureau. At the FTC, we mentioned that at the beginning of this presentation with the 7 to 21,000 increase in complaints. This is the organization that you can get in touch with if you want to lodge a complaint and report fraud or a job scam. You can visit it at reportfraud.ftc.gov. The reports are used to investigate and bring cases against fraud and scams. So once you're able to get your finances back, definitely get in touch with the FTC and report that you were the victim of a job scam. This not only helps you, but it helps potential job hunters everywhere who might be the vulnerable and the possible victim of the same scam. In addition, you can get in touch with the Better Business Bureau at bbb.com. They have an entire scam database of all the job scams that they've received over the years from businesses that turned out to be not legit, that ended up just being one big scam. So you can visit it and analyze that and look and see if who you got in touch with or whoever's getting in touch with you, if they're part of that database. Research is definitely key when in the job market and searching for a job. So Better Business Bureau is a really good source for that as well. And you can also access that through the link here at www.bbb.org/scam tracker. And like we mentioned before, the numbers that we reported here, those are just the numbers that were reported. For the 21,000 job scams that were reported between 2020 and 2021, there could be thousands and thousands of job scams that happened that weren't reported. So the numbers could be far greater and a lot more people could be negatively affected than we might have thought. So if you are the victim of a job scam, it is really important to be vigilant, not only just to get back what's yours with identity theft or funds, but also to help look out for the people around you, look out for fellow job seekers who are just wanting the same thing as you, and because we don't want to see anybody hurt. So just being vigilant and making sure that the bad guys are reported, that's really important. So definitely visit these two if you have been the victim of a job scam. Some legitimate job search sites that we provided. We have 3 today that we have to offer that are trusted and well vetted. So we'll be reviewing those shortly. And in addition, we have the LA County Library itself. We have a tools for job seekers section that you can visit with lots of links to help get you prepared for entering the job market or getting back into it. So we'll review a couple of resources that the library can provide you as well. So the first is CalJobs. CalJobs are job listings in the state of California, especially in the public sector if you're interested. Oftentimes, job postings from the website Indeed will take you to CalJobs. In addition to job listings, they also have a lot of live and virtual workshops and events that you can visit. If you're wanting kind of a wide range of industries to look into, you can visit their job fairs. If you're looking more for career development, they offer a lot of skills workshops. So they have those on hand as well. Excuse me. In addition, they have an education services locator, including schools, programs, and financial assistance. So in addition to jobs and career development, if you're looking to get back to school, if you're wanting to get a certain degree or certification of any kind that will help you advance in the job market, CalJobs also has that on hand for you to visit. So definitely take advantage if you're looking to continue your education in some way, shape, or form. And you can access CalJobs at the link below at caljobs.ca.gov. Our second source is Workforce 50. If you're getting back into the job market or continuing on and you're 50 and older, this is definitely a possible avenue for you to explore in the job market. Workforce 50 is tailored to older job seekers who are 50 and older. They have job listings all throughout the United States, and they are filtered by state/employer. So if you're looking possibly beyond California and you're older, then Workforce 50 might be the site for you. Some additional resources that Workforce 50 provides, some career development aspects as well. We have utilizing social media. So for social media, if you're looking to use that to promote yourself or possibly job hunt, Workforce 50 has some resources that can help you navigate social media if you're looking for jobs, or again, if you're looking to put yourself out there or promote yourself, and if you don't have much experience with social media. They also have resume help. If you're looking to beef up your resume or CV and you just feel like you need some help on it, Workforce 50 does offer resume help, so definitely take advantage of that. If you're wanting to promote yourself through that, show what you bring to the table for employers, so definitely take advantage of that. And something definitely unique to Workforce 50 is dealing with age discrimination. They have resources there that you can explore if you feel that you are the victim of age discrimination, or if you're working and you feel like you're experiencing age discrimination. Workforce 50 has some resources there that you can take advantage of, actions that you can take, possibly legal actions as well, since age discrimination is illegal in the workforce and in the workplace. So definitely take advantage of that if you feel that you were discriminated against because of your age. So you can visit Workforce 50 at the link below at workforce50.com. So we move on to government jobs. Government jobs is fantastic. I love using it myself, especially if I'm ever looking and if I'm in the job market. It's actually how I found my current position, through LA County. We have a few examples here. Government jobs works through LA County. So if you're looking to work for us through the county, we have our HR page that uses government jobs as part of the system. You can apply for open LA County listings. And in addition to the job postings, there's also a job search toolkit, as well as resume/interview tips. If you're looking to strengthen your resume or CV, or if you're looking to get better practice in the interview process before your interview comes. So you can visit us at hr.lacounty.gov. If you're wanting to expand beyond LA County and are looking at the state of California, government jobs also works through them as well, through jobs.ca.gov. You can go there and apply for open state job listings all throughout Northern and Southern California. You can also learn about state positions and benefits there if you're wanting to learn more about public positions and want to work in that realm, but maybe you're thinking beyond LA County. So definitely give California state jobs a look if you're looking for that. If you're looking even beyond the state of California, USA Jobs is another that makes use of government jobs. You can visit that at usajobs.gov. These positions are entirely federal and are based all throughout the United States and United States territories. You can apply for open federal government positions. They also have a good number of hiring events. If you're looking at a lot of different possible positions, they offer events that you can visit, both virtual and in person. So definitely give that a look if you're thinking federal and possibly outside California. And they also have hiring path guides that you can look as well. If you're wanting to get into federal or federal government positions for the first time, they give you a lot of avenues you can explore to be able to be brought on. So definitely take advantage of that if you're looking for something national or federal. Something personally that I really like about government jobs is their NeoGov system. Basically, all you have to do is just apply to any position through government jobs once, and it'll save that information. It'll save your personal info, your education history, or work history. You just have to enter it once and you're done, and which I think is fantastic. It really streamlines the application process and just makes things a lot easier. So if you apply to like LA County and send that out, you can use that for pretty much any other city, state position that's out there, even beyond the state of California, because other city and county governments will use NeoGov as well in government jobs. So it's kind of like a one and done kind of thing, which is great. So I highly recommend government jobs for its streamlined approach. So we have some library resources too. Yes, the LA County Library does have resources that you can take advantage of. We have some online resources, and I wanted to highlight a couple here that we have to offer. You can access those through lacountylibrary.org/job help. First being BrainFuse Job Now. This is a great resource if you're wanting to talk to somebody and get insights that way. You know, it's great to read about job tips and preparation, but with BrainFuse Job Now, you actually are talking to a real person in real time and are able to get job coaching and interview prep. So if you have questions about anything related to an application process, about your resume, or if you're wanting interview practice, BrainFuse Job Now is a really great source if you're looking to work on that, gain confidence going into the interview process or application process. In addition to that, BrainFuse Job Now also offers a full service resume lab if you're looking to enhance your CV or resume. So definitely give that a look. In addition, the LA County Library offers LinkedIn Learning. These are a series of instructional videos for skill development. So if you're looking for kind of career development, or if you're looking to gain a new skill that you feel will help you in the job market, we have kind of a short list here with different subjects that you can get instructional videos on, like photography, animation, music, web development, software, project management, and much, much more. You can access LinkedIn Learning to be able to access all of these to boost your skills. And the best part is this is all free. All you need is your library card and your PIN number, and yeah, you're good to go. Just click on the link and you can get started like ASAP. And in addition, we also have links to trusted job search sites. The ones that I mentioned before, government jobs and Workforce 50 and Cal Jobs, we have links to those as well as a list of other reputable and well-vetted job search sites. So you can access that from lacountylibrary.org/job help. So definitely check these out if you're wanting to explore the job market, but wanting to use the library to help you along the way as a free resource. We have some additional library resources here as well. We have a couple of books that are really good and provide firsthand accounts of job scams and what to look out for. We have Scam Me If You Can by Frank Abagnale. Excuse me. We have the physical book, copy of this book. In addition, we also have the ebook version as well as the e-audiobook. So if you're wanting a digital copy, you can access that through the LA County Library as well. Just have your barcode ready as well as your 4-digit PIN, and you're good to go. In addition, we also have Scammed by Jeannie Graham Scott. This is accessed through Hoopla. The ebook and audiobook for Scam Me If You can also be accessed through Libby, but Scammed, I believe, is Hoopla exclusive, so you can access that book there as well if you're wanting to read up more on job scams. In addition, we have this third link here. We have Avoid Work at Home Scams by Mike Gutman of LinkedIn Learning, because we just talked about LinkedIn Learning, and as it turns out, avoiding job scams is a topic that they discuss. So definitely check that out if you're in LinkedIn Learning and you're wanting to boost a skill of yours or learn a new skill, definitely check out this link to learn about even more tips to avoid remote work scams in particular. So if you want to get in touch with us, we have plenty of reference services, not only as they pertain to job scams and things of that nature, but anything library related. You can speak to any of us. You can get in touch with us on the phone Monday through Friday from 9 a.m. to 6 p.m. At most of our locations. You can also access us through text from Monday through Fridays from 12 to 6 p.m. as well. You can also email us if you prefer to type out your questions. And we also offer our Instant Librarian virtual reference service if you want a live conversation with us. We're accessible Monday through Friday from 12 to 6 p.m. We'll answer any of your questions, whether they're library related or not, to the best of our abilities. So we're more than happy to help you on behalf of LA County Library. So you can click the link below at lacountylibrary.org/contact us if you'd like to get in touch with the LA County Library with any of your questions regarding job scams or anything else that's library related.
Before we move on to the Q&A, which is the part that we're going to get to in just this moment, if you do have questions, I see that there's some in the Q&A. Go ahead and post them now. But before we move on to the Q&A, I'd just like to throw out a quick bit of gratitude to Lawrence Mack. Lawrence is leaving county service next week, and he has literally done probably close to 100 of these virtual events over the past few years. Some of you out there may have seen him both in work ready programs and in our digital literacy classes, our computer classes that he has put on with such eloquence and poise and a little bit of humor throughout the years. And so I just wanted to come on here and say thank you, Lawrence, for your service to us and the folks out there. And so if you're out there, let's do just a quick clap for Lawrence, a bit of applause. So thank you very much, Lawrence. Your work is very much appreciated. I see people are raising their hands.
Oh, thank you so much, Oleg. And thank you everybody who attended this program and also all the programs throughout the years. It's my pleasure to present Work Ready and digital literacy programs to you all, and I hope you keep attending in the future.
Now I'm gonna zoom out so you guys can do the Q&A.
Alrighty, so before we start with the Q&A, I wanted to post a couple links. Please make sure to check out our future virtual events. You can find them at lacountylibrary.org/virtual programming. And also, once you're done with this program, we'd appreciate it if you fill out our post-event survey, which you will find in the links as well. So I will post those. Be sure to check those out. Okay, so let's move on to our Q&A. So Jeff, do see there's a few Q&As. So first one, so even a trustworthy site might have scam jobs, like at least fewer scams, but we can't be 100% sure. Is that correct?
Yes, so this is especially true with the popular sites, like I mentioned with Indeed and Glassdoor and ZipRecruiter. Those are generally pretty well vetted, but job scams will sneak in from time to time on those big ones. So, and Indeed, I should have thrown that in there as well. So they're great resources, don't get me wrong. I enjoy using those because they're very well organized and have really good formats, but fake job postings can come up on generally trustworthy sites like those. So just be really, really careful with those. The ones we provided, like Workforce 50 and Government Jobs, Those are generally very, very well vetted and they're government backed. So those can definitely be trusted a lot more on a bigger scale than say the private ones like Indeed or Glassdoor or LinkedIn.
All right. Okay, so let's move on to the next question. So this person wrote, I recently applied to a job and they did ask for my name and SSN. It was required to complete the application. I did give it and have an interview scheduled for tomorrow. I was leery at first, but after researching the company, felt it was safe. So, what are your thoughts on this, and what could one do to protect oneself in this situation?
Well, first of all, and West, congrats on getting the interview, and I wish you all the best on getting it. So, I found this to be the case in my application process. There are basics that are going to be asked as part of the application process. Of course, they're going to want to know your name, social security number, of course, is going to be tricky. A lot of it depends on, I suppose, where you applied for it. If it was on the organization's website itself, then that, if it's reputable and well established, then that's probably safe. But yeah, you did the right thing, searching and looking ahead. It's just really important to be vigilant and being sure that who you're applying for is 100% legitimate, especially when you're supplying that that sensitive information. Trying to think if there's anything else I can add. But yeah, it's really a case by case basis, I would say. Just as you're applying, as you're going from job posting to job posting and applying, just be really, really careful who it is you're applying to and the platform you're applying on, especially if it's an open uh, private website, like Indeed or Glassdoor, like we mentioned. So context is key.
Yeah, that's absolutely correct. Just make sure to research thoroughly the organization and just make sure that they're legitimate, that they have, actual places that you can contact, a physical location if possible. Um, yeah, and that's pretty much what you can do to protect yourself in this situation. Let's see the next question. Yeah, I think Jeff addressed this pretty well. Like name, address, and phone are asked by most organizations. Are those considered personal information that you shouldn't provide? Um, but yeah, like it depends on what stage you are in the interview process. So at some point you're going to have to provide those. So just uh, be careful at what stage you're providing them.
Yeah, well said.
Okay, yeah. Next question. Is there a way to evaluate if contract companies are legitimate?
Oh, that is a good question. Because I was really focused on yeah, so much on the public part of it that I didn't think too much on contract companies. I would think like with any other company or a recruitment organization, um, kind of like with the regular businesses and organizations, definitely research them, see if they have a possible base of operations or headquarters, if they have contact information that you can reach out to and actually speak with somebody. Those are kind of the key things that I would look out for. Just having somebody that you're able to get in touch with and um, able to have some mode of communication with, I think is key. I don't know if Lawrence had any input on contract companies?
Yeah, like what you said is good, Jeff. And again, and just make sure to research the companies, make sure that they have, you know, locations and contact information that's easily accessible and that doesn't look too shady.
Mm.
All right, so next question. I had a recruiter contact me for a position at company A, and I provided a copy of a resume. 2 days later, the recruiter told me that position is no longer available. However, I also applied the same position a while ago directly through the company websites. The company HR actually reached out to me for interviews, and also the HR told me that they don't partner with any recruiters. Does this look like a scam? The recruiter looks like they're from a big recruiting firm. If the recruiter contacts me again, should I talk to them?
So you definitely did the right thing by applying directly through the company's website, because that's almost always the surest way to go. And they are right that they're not necessarily linked to a recruiter. But I would say, I don't know if I would consider it a scam, but definitely be cautious, especially if there's inconsistencies with the position that's posted and the one that the recruiter reached out to you for. I'm trying to think. And kind of like as we mentioned again, when you receive those communications, look at it with a lot of scrutiny, look at their contact information, and research the recruiter firm or organization that they're representing. Are they legitimate? Are you able to verify? So kind of like as we mentioned before, just do as much research as you can, and always try to apply at the source if possible. I would say if the recruiter contacts you for this position, probably decline, since you already took the appropriate channels. But if they do reach out about other potential positions, that might be where your research will come in handy, as you'll have more information on who they represent. Because I think with recruiters, they only have so much information available to them. So there might be some issues with the positions that they are sending out, but if they said that it wasn't available and then the company itself said that it was, then definitely keep a close eye on it. That's probably the best advice that I could dispense on it.
I think in this position, since you reached out with a company HR a while ago, maybe just reach out to them again and see if they updated their policy, like if they're partnering with recruiters now. That might be the case. So it always helps just to reach out and make sure.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so next question. Is the resume help at Workforce 50 free?
Yes, I'm pretty confident that it's free. All the links that we provided with Workforce 50 and Cal Jobs and government jobs, those are all free. Resume Help should be free. I don't recall if you have to create an account with them or not, but I'm fairly certain that Workforce 50 Resume Help is free of charge, and that there's no special membership or anything attached.
I wanted to jump in real quick. I took a look. I saw the question earlier. Sorry, this is all like I'm in disembodied voice if I don't turn on my video. So I had took a look at Workforce 50 because noticed the question, and I was also curious whether it's free. And from looking at the website, it doesn't seem like Workforce 50 actually offers any one-on-one resume assistance. They have resources for resumes, just like flat content resources, like things like that. There are also it's something to note that there are ads on Workforce 50 that look like they're part of the website, but they're not. Let me, if you don't mind, I'd like to bring up Workforce 50 just to really quickly show the folks what that looks like, because it's something to look out for. And so some of those ads might have something like a, might look like something that's here, let me bring up this browser. It might look like resume assistance, and the link where it's linking to might not be free. So here is the website Workforce 50. And if we scroll down, so here's basically this is all the regular part of the website. Here's their library. So this is all like resume marketing, optimizing. So these are all resources that you can click through, and it's free information. You can see who wrote it, things like that, strategic resume writing. So this is all on their website, and this is all free. So on this page right here, as you can see, there are no ads. This is just Workforce 50. But if we go to home and we scroll down, so right here on the side, we can see post a job. So that's something for businesses. But if we go down and sign up for job alerts, this is powered by ZipRecruiter. So that's a separate website. This right here, your future starts here, is powered by Campus Explorer. So this is a different website than Workforce 50. And if we look around, so I had looked at this website, or let me reload it, because was looking at this website earlier, and there was something else that popped up that was clearly an ad. You know what? I think it's because I'm using the Brave browser that the ads are actually blocked. So let me open up a different browser, and that might allow me to show. Because I was wondering, where are the ads? I just saw them a second ago, but I realized that the Brave browser actually has built-in ad blocking. So note, if you want a website, a browser with built-in ad blocking, the Brave browser is a good one. It's free and useful. So let me bring up a different browser and show it to you. I was wondering why, wait a second, why aren't the ads showing up? This is what I really wanted to show people. Oh, let's see. Okay, here's Workforce 50. Okay, so let me reshare here. Sorry, I just butt into this Q&A, but I felt like this was an important thing to share. Okay, so here is the same website, but using the Firefox browser, which doesn't have automatic ad blocking. It's something that you would have to add to it. Okay, so here it is. So here's the top of the website looks exactly the same. If we scroll down though, we see on the side here, post the job, the same thing as before, but this right here is an ad, and you can see it's the ad by these things on the side here. There's a little triangle and a little X. It says ad choices. That's the company that serves up the ads. So this looks like it's part of the website because the font is somewhat, it's not the same, but it's somewhat similar. This is all the ads are powered by ZipRecruiter. If we keep scrolling down here, same thing right over here. These squares, it looks like it's part of the website because the colors are similar and it's about jobs, but this is actually an ad to a different website. And so it's possible that some of these ads, this one definitely doesn't look like it's part of the website. This is, of course, an ad. So the point is that some of those might actually be, they may say resume assistance, and it's not free because it's not part of the website. All right, I'm gonna hop back out now.
Yep, well said. Thank you, Oleg. Yeah, good clarification there. So yeah, I would say with workforce, excuse me. So I'd say with Workforce 50, they provide general tips and some resources, but not exactly like a one-on-one that that like Brain Fuse would have to offer, for instance.
Yeah. And that brings us to our next question. So is there a fee to use services? And the answer is no, there isn't. So it's 100% free to use BrainFuse and all the other links that Jeff posted. And with BrainFuse, you can get that one-on-one resume help.
Yep, just use your library card barcode number and your PIN, and you're good to go. It's all free. So you're able to just access all those services for free, and we highly encourage you to. So definitely more incentive to sign up for your library card today if you haven't already.
Yep. Okay, so next question. Is it possible that companies use contracting companies to try and find out what your lowest rate might be?
I'm guessing by lowest rate, do they mean, excuse me, lowest rate of pay? Or I guess I'm trying to clarify.
Yeah, what I'm getting from this is probably the lowest salary that you'll accept.
I mean, it's always plausible. I can't 100% say for sure, but I wouldn't put it past companies to try to gain employees at the lowest possible rate possible. So again, that's where research does come in. There's always a range with salaries, and it's like what might be on the website might not necessarily be the reality um, of what they actually offer. So definitely do your research and be vigilant on that. Lawrence, I don't know if you had any input on that as well.
Yeah, so if a company tries to negotiate with the salary, it's perfectly fine to negotiate back. Advocate for yourself, to get the best possible benefit for you.
Okay, I'm gonna
Okay.
jump in real quick just to say, in terms of negotiating salary, don't negotiate with the recruiter. Negotiate when you're given a job offer. So there's no reason for you to, if they ask you, what's your salary now? That's not something you actually have to answer. And I think, and I'm not a lawyer, so it's not legal for them to ask you or demand to know what your salary is now. So you can say, what your approximate, you know, basically, I would say that it's if you're talking to a recruiter, that's not something that you can ask them what the range is for the salary, and if it's not within what you're interested in, you say I'm not that interested in it. But you don't need to discuss it with the recruiter because that's even that's putting the cart before the horse. Do they have them? You do the interview, and then once they give you a job offer, you can say that's when the negotiation for salary starts. So the answer to that question, I think, is yeah, it's possible that they're trying to get people, you know, to find the lowest possible candidate for the salary. But if a company wants the best person, then they'll they'll negotiate with you in good faith.
All right. This question is pretty easy. What is Hoopla?
So Hoopla is one of the lovely ebook resources that we have to offer. Similar to Libby, but Hoopla also, in addition to ebooks, we also have audiobooks. They have a really good graphic novel selection if you like comics or graphic novels. I believe they also offer some movies and movies and TV shows. I believe they offer some on Hoopla as well, so that might be a possible resource you can access if you're looking for those. But yeah, it's one of our digital resources that we offer if you're looking for digital materials, and like don't want physical materials or aren't necessarily able to access them.
Okay, great. So next question. Oh, where is the resume lab held at?
So I'm trying to think where the which resume lab was being referred to. I believe it's back in the
Yeah. So
oh yeah, through brain freeze. Excuse me.
yeah.
So it's completely virtual through BrainFuse Job Now. You just have to use your library card credentials to log in, and that's where you're able to access the resume lab. So as far as I know, there's not a physical location, but you can visit it. I'll go back to lacountylibrary.org/job help. You can click on BrainFuse Job Now, and that's where you're able to access that particular resource. So if you want the full service resume lab, BrainFuse Job Now is where you'll find it through the LA County Library.
Yep. All right. Next question. It has been years since I have applied for a job. If you go in person to, for example, a restaurant to fill out a job application, do they ask for your social security number on the application? And do you have to give your social security number even if you aren't hired yet?
So to begin, I wish you well in the job application process since it's been a while. So I do wish you well and hope you get the job that you're wanting. So for filling an application in person, I'm actually kind of surprised because I feel like nowadays the application process would mostly be online. Um, if it's an in-person application and they ask for your full social, um, that is a good question because usually in in-person contexts, I think like at the beginning they might maybe ask for like the last four, but I don't know about the full social security number in person. Um, I would guess if it's in person and it's a restaurant, then they're going to be legitimate and they are asking in good faith uh, for identifying information. Um, that is a good question, Lawrence. Do you have any insights?
Um, I am, so I'm not a legal expert, so I can't comment on do you have like do you have to give it? I would say you don't have to give it, but they'll require it at some point during the interview process anyway. And if they make it a requirement for progressing to the next step, then I don't see if there's any way around it if you want that job.
Mhm. Yeah, and it's kind of the calculated risk you take when you apply for excuse me, for job positions because you're going to have to put your personal information out there, whether that's your name, where you live, like those are just the basics. Usually, social security numbers would be provided at some point in the application process, too. I guess with this instance, as long as it's in a secure environment where it's a bit more private and maybe for the opportunity for other people to see it isn't there where the application is just for um, the business's eyes only, then I wouldn't have as much of an issue with it. But yeah, like Lawrence said, it's something that you're probably going to have to do at some point. But again, it's just a matter of again doing that research and making sure that the organizations and businesses and companies that you apply to that they are legit. So just be wary of that.
Mm. All right.
Hmm.
Next question. I can answer this one. Is LinkedIn also a source of job scams? Yes, there are job scams on all job posting sites. So make sure you do your research and verify who exactly it is on the other end as best you can.
And like I mentioned, I believe it was 2021 or 2020. They removed, as in the article that I cited from the LA Times, they removed about 87.1 million spam content through, I think, 1 year alone. So LinkedIn, unfortunately, is not immune to job scams, as nice a resource as it is for job searching and networking. So LinkedIn is great, but kind of like Indeed and the rest, just be really careful when using it.
Yep. All right. Next question. Are there any other webinars not related to scams and jobs? And is their web address available? Yes. I'll post it again. It's our work and career playlist for our work ready webinars on YouTube. And also be sure to check out the LA County Libraries channel on YouTube. We have a lot of other programs available as well for your browsing leisure. All right. Next question. I got several email postings from Indeed and deleted them. Is it better to sign up with Indeed first and have an account with them?
Yeah, so if you want to apply to positions through Indeed, I know I didn't discuss Indeed too much, but um, if you create an account with Indeed, I believe you're able to control the communications that you receive from them. So if you want to get emails from them, you can definitely say yes or no. If you are getting emails without creating an account, that might be something that you don't necessarily have control over. So yes, I would definitely encourage you to create an account, because I believe with Indeed, you're able to personalize it and tailor your job search on that website to what you're looking for position wise. You're able to break it down by the region you want to work in or the industry as well. So yeah, I would definitely recommend signing up just to give you more control and mastery over the sites and uh, being able to dictate your own terms of your job search on there.
All righty. Okay. So next question. This person applied to U.S. storage centers for a customer service position. The job listing initially seemed legitimate. However, the job interview had signs of a job scam, which was they were offered an immediate job offer and the potential employer seemed unprofessional. They had an impromptu phone interview, sounded defensive of the organization, emailed them and exchanged correspondences at night. And the job position, which is assistant manager, was different from what they applied for. The hiring process sounded too good to be true. Training was required outside of the state, in Texas specifically. The organization even offered free flight and accommodation. This person verified the job posting, contacted the company directly, and that was deemed legitimate. But overall, it rubbed this person the wrong way. They ran it by their family and professionals, and they all agreed it sounded likely to be a job scam. So this person changed their mind. So their question is there something they is their experience something they can or should bring to watchdog organizations?
So thank you, Anna, for your story and for the question. So, so first of all, good job on scrutinizing the entire process and doing your research. So there's definitely nothing wrong with trusting your gut when it comes to job postings or the application process. Because yeah, it sounds like even if they are an actual company, we can't really speak for how long they've been around or what their legitimacy is, especially if they're brand new or fairly recently established. It just sounds like, yeah, there's a lot of red flags all throughout this. So you definitely did the right thing, especially running it through your trusted people. So if you don't feel that, if it doesn't sit right with you, you can definitely get in touch with FTC or Better Business Bureau. There's no harm or negative ramifications of filing a complaint. Like, there's no negatives or downside at all, even if it's ultimately dismissed or it doesn't go down as a scam. You did your due diligence by reporting it, because it could very well be a job scam. It could very well be an illegitimate company, even if they do have a website and base of operations and contact information. So, don't be shy with sharing that with the FTC or the BBB. There's absolutely no harm with doing it, and you're doing yourself and all the other job seekers out there a huge service. So, um, if you don't feel comfortable with it, definitely file complaints on both websites.
Right, that's some good advice there. All right, let's move on to our next question. When applying for a job on a company website, often a home address is asked for. Should I just give the address of the local post office in lieu of the home address to be safe?
So thank you for the question, CC. I would say, so I think it goes back again to kind of that basic information with any job application. You're going to have to put your address at some point. If you applied on the company website, then I would say that's more of a sure bet, because you applied straight at the source. So one, I would say uh, research the company to make sure that it's legitimate. Just make sure that everything tracks and that it's clear, and that it's reputable. I would not, just me, I would not put the post office address, because if they're trying to send you communications, then it'd be kind of awkward that the communications that they might be trying to send you through the mail would end up at the post office instead. So if you feel comfortable with the company that you applied for, I would just put your regular home address. That's just me personally. Lawrence, I don't know if you had any insights on this question from CC.
Yeah, so what I feel is if the interview progresses to a stage where they're offering you a job and you like this company, and then now what are you going to do? Like, are you going to tell them, oh, hey, like, my address is actually this, instead of that? That might make for an awkward exchange with that company. So yeah, if you feel good about the job, or if you feel like the job offer is good or the company is good, then you should probably put your home address just to avoid that awkwardness further on.
Yeah, great.
I agree with you guys, and I'm just going to add that these days, a name, address, and phone number is probably it's the lowest kind of most basic kind of personally identifiable information that there is. And to be honest, most of that information is now found online on directory websites, either just on the open web or available for like $1 or two. So if somebody is really interested in finding out your, home address and your phone number, they can do that really easily. So I would say it's a relatively low risk type of information to put in a job application. At the same time, just like Jeff and Lawrence are saying, uh, be wary initially, even before you fill out the job application. That's where you want to have your sort of, I don't know, not your heckles exactly, but have your antennae going for red flags about whether the application itself, the company itself is legit. But I wouldn't worry too much about putting your address into the application if everything else looks copacetic.
Yep.
Like,
All right. Okay, so next, there's not a question, but an experience somebody wanted to share. So this person said, I recently interviewed for a job. They used Pacific Sun as the company and used an actual person who works there as the name. They had their profile picture, job title, and all those details. The interview happened over Skype via text, and I only found out it was fake because I found the woman on LinkedIn and she posted about this being a scam. Also, be aware that the fake job offering gave me a W-9 form to fill out. Unfortunately, I got scammed, but I wanted to warn everyone here to look out.
well,
Yeah.
thank you, Sarah, for sharing your experience, and we're definitely sorry that you were the victim of a scam here. Hopefully, no really negative ramifications came. And if you were, we had the sources provided in our presentation. So if you were, hopefully you got in touch with any organizations that were involved in the scam, as well as the FTC and the Better Business Bureau, if you were going to report it. So, thanks for sharing. And yeah, just be aware. Just keep an eye out for those red flags. Be vigilant. Do your research like on the company, and just because a person says that they work on behalf of somebody doesn't necessarily mean that both are legitimate. So, just always be mindful out there when applying.
Yep. Okay, and another experience. 2 years ago, this person applied to a grant writing job with an EV charging company in Culver City and had two interviews. So they felt comfortable when that company requested writing samples. Then they asked for like three more and then never heard from them again. Pretty sure that they wanted to copy my work and not hire me. So be aware of stuff like that too.
Well, thanks for sharing that experience, Sophie. And sorry if your work was taken by them. Um, if you do have a complaint with them, you can, like we said, we can definitely use the links to get you in touch with Federal Trade Commission or the Better Business Bureau. Again, if you feel like you were cheated out of your work, um, if you're not able to get in touch with this company. So um, yeah, we're sorry to hear it. So I hope that doesn't happen again.
All right. Next question. Can you talk about resume farms or scamming? It seems a lot of recruiters just want you to send them a resume without providing a job listing.
Um, yeah, good question. What do you think, Lawrence?
Well, so basically like resume farm is basically people who just want to build databases of resumes that they can then sell to, I guess information gathering companies or to companies that make use of this data. Um, so yeah, a way to get around this is to not use a recruiter and apply directly to company websites, or just be wary of which recruiter is asking for your resumes without providing a job listing. I think that's about the extent of how to prevent your resume just being taken for a farm.
Yeah, well said. And Yeah, I would add on to that, excuse me, applying individually to job listings or companies, yeah, it is an arduous process. Like it does take a while to answer the questions, fill in the information, and making sure that your application is sent in. But it is more of a sure thing that you're going to hear something back versus just sending your resume out through a through like a recruiting agency or a resume farm in this case. So yeah, my recommendation would definitely be just apply directly, skip the middleman entirely, so to speak, and um, I feel you'll have a lot better rate of success by just directly applying it in this instance.
All right. Next question. I recently received a job offer, but my current employer gave me a bad reference and the offer was rescinded. My current job is a hostile environment, and I believe this is retaliation for me speaking out loud about things I've experienced at work. The information my employer gave was completely false. I have reached out to employment lawyers but have not heard back. What, if anything, can I do other than find a new job, which is what I'm doing?
Well, thanks for sharing your experience, and sorry to hear that you went through that, because those are always rough to deal with. Um, I would, putting this aside for a moment, I would think if with your in the application process, I would at least want to reach out to possibly other reference sources. If your current workplace environment is not conducive to good reference checks or good references themselves, um, definitely reach out to other possible organizations you've worked for, perhaps within last 5 to 10 years or so. Get in touch with your contacts and let them know that you're seeking a different position. If you haven't done that already, of course, because like Lawrence, I'm not a legal expert either, so I'm not entirely sure about kind of the legal side of references and like giving out information in bad faith. I don't know, Lawrence, did you have any input on that?
I mean, like definitely reaching out to employment lawyers, that's good. Maybe reach out to a couple more, see if anybody can give you a second opinion. Um, but yeah, like Jeff said, try to find maybe a different reference who can provide a more positive feedback. Um, but yeah, otherwise, good luck on your job, uh, on your job hunt.
Definitely.
All right. Next, another comment. So maybe employers ask for the SSN during applications for credit checks, maybe. Yes, that is a very possible situation that they would use your SSN for in an application. Next question. There are a lot of job listings for taking surveys. Any thoughts about these? I know, beware.
Oh, thank you, Wilma, um, for the comment and getting our thoughts. I would think job surveys are more of a short-term job possibility, like more like an extra finances or funds kind of position. Not something that I would, excuse me, categorize as full-time or part-time necessarily. Um, if you're getting paid to do surveys, just kind of like with any other organization, consider the source, look into it, and see looking to ask for surveys, because yeah, the possibilities for scamming the people who are just wanting to do surveys um, for money or for kind of a side gig or just some extra money to have on hand. Those can definitely be out there as well. So, kind of like as we said before, just do your research on the posting, who's posting it, are they legitimate, are they verifiable? If it rubs you the wrong way, kind of like with the past experiences that we've heard, that we've discussed in the presentation, you're probably better off exploring other possibilities.
Yep. All right. Okay. Um, let's move on to the next question. Okay, this one's a long one. So I've been asked if I have an SSN during the interview process, since it implies whether I'm able to work in the US or not. You shouldn't have to give a full SSN before being hired. Um, hmm.
Yeah, excuse me. I would think that would come afterwards. I don't know if they're asking you during the interview process like that. Like if they're asking you for your social during the interview, that's kind of suspicious. Um, and yeah, I think it depends too on the organization that's interviewing you, if it's being done remotely or if it's in person. I think those are other uh, factors to consider. Because we touched on social security numbers and in past questions in the Q&A as well, because it is something that is provided, but at some point. But yeah, just be mindful of who it is that you're interviewing with and at what stage that um, you're applying at.
Yep. All right. Okay.
Hmm.
So next question. My brother found a job that I think is a scam on Indeed. The company name is Budget Friendly Transportation as a driver. I keep trying to research the company that is supposedly in Richmond, California. They requested a DMV clearance form, his info that could be sent by text. I told him it's a scam. They told him they are a startup company and barely expanding. I tried to look them up in the page you guys gave, but there are always so many results. Is there a way to find it? My brother says since it is not there, it is not a scam. This happened on Thursday. They told him if he sent all the info, he would get a car by Monday to use their cars for the job, and he would keep the car in the house. When I Googled the company, uh, there are some reviews which give bad reviews, and their Facebook page only has 11 followers and likes. So, do you think that that has all the signs of a scam job?
Yeah, I would say so. I mean, good on you for doing your homework and looking into it. If you're having trouble finding them, that's definitely problematic. It sounds like it's also trying to provide immediate employment, and that um, kind of in your, I think, fourth comment here that you would get a car by Monday um, on a Thursday. That sounds they're just trying to appeal to immediate gratification and um, trying to get them hooked in like right away. So I would be very suspicious of this, uh, especially if they're really small time. Yeah, if their Facebook page is only 11 followers slash likes, that might be an issue. And also, just if you're researching the company itself and it doesn't have much feedback there as well, then definitely um, have a wary eye about it and um, just be really, really cautious. I would be especially cautious with this, and um, recommend your brother probably look elsewhere because it sounds very suspect all across the board.
Yeah, I would also add, and I think what Lawrence and Jeff, what you guys have said is on point. It seems like this and what you this person out there, what you've been raising are all sort of red flags that we're looking for. So one other place to check, and we haven't mentioned this yet, is the state of California. The Secretary of State lets you check business licenses. So what I just did was literally go to the website, and I'm just gonna bring it up because why not? We're all here. We're all friends. I'm gonna show you. So can you see my browser?
Mhm.
So this is not the Brave browser. This is just Chrome. Um, so this is the California State website, bizfileonline.sos.ca.gov. I can post that in the chat as well, so that you can access his website and you search along with me if you want to. But this is the California Secretary of State website. You note it's that ca.gov, so you know it's legit. And so we went here, and there's a free business search. So I clicked here, and yeah, there's all these kind of instructions here to see what you can get, but we just need something really basic. So the company was like budget transportation, something like that. So I typed in budget transportation, and I clicked search, and there's also an advanced search, but in this case, we didn't actually need it. Budget-friendly transportation LLC. It's the first thing that comes up in California. Status terminated. Oh. So apparently this business had existed. So initial filing date 5/17/2011. So much for it being a startup. Status terminated. Inactive date 4/8/2015. Statement info due date. There's a person involved with it. I don't know what view history gives us. So here's the termination. So initial filing 11 statement of information. So we can get actually I'm curious what this brings up. I don't It's not going to come up. You can look at this later if you want to. So election to terminate. So they terminated their business license. So they're not licensed to have this business in the state of California. I don't know what this is here. This is something totally different. And this is also terminated. But so this is one way to check if a company is legit. So it seems like there may have been at some point this company, and I don't know, it may be operating on some liminal way, somewhere in between the lines. But clearly from at least this here, it verifies some of what you've been feeling and so what you've been seeing is that this may not be a legit company. I'm not saying that's for sure, but leaning in that direction.
Yeah, well put. And it's definitely a resource you can take advantage of as well. If you're wondering about a business or organization's legitimacy. I'm trying to bring this back up.
All right. Let's see. So next question, are credit checks for jobs illegal in California? And I can answer this. Yes, it is generally um, not legal for most jobs for employers to pull somebody's credit report to make a decision on whether or not to hire a person. There are some exceptions, but generally it is considered illegal to pull credit checks for jobs in California. All right. Next question. Do you consider it professional to call the company to verify that they are aware of a job listing before applying, especially if it's on a site that looks suspicious?
So my initial thought is you can definitely do that. uh, you're probably going to go through different channels depending on the size of the company in question. If you do want to call them and verify, make sure that you're getting in touch with their human resources or their equivalent. Me personally, I don't see the risk of getting in touch to make sure it's legitimate, because you are going to the source directly, which is what we always encourage here. So I don't know if Lawrence, if you had a second opinion on it.
Well, I would say it doesn't hurt to reach out. I don't think it's unprofessional. It just means you are a cautious person who wants to verify information, and that can be seen as a good thing for companies who are looking for employers.
Well said.
All right. All right. Last question. Is it better to look for a job on LinkedIn?
So better is subjective. LinkedIn is a really, really good resource, especially for networking. There's a lot of jobs on there that are posted in all different industries and fields that you can definitely check out. However, like I said, LinkedIn is not immune from job scam postings. As I mentioned from the LA Times article, they got rid of millions and millions of spam content over the course of, I believe it was either 3 quarters or 1 year. So we would definitely recommend the more not well established, but we'd recommend the verified and well vetted resources that we came up with, like government jobs and Cal jobs, for instance. Nothing wrong with using sites like LinkedIn or Indeed or any of those for job hunting, but those websites tend to be prone to getting job scams that make it through the cracks. So feel free to use LinkedIn, but just be cautious on there like you would any other website.
Yep, that is good advice. Okay, with that being said, I do not see any more questions in the Q&A. So again, thank you, Jeff, and thank you, Oleg, for participating in our Q&A. And thank you to all of you for sending us your questions. It's always great to see all the different topics and issues that you're curious about. And hopefully we did our best to help answer those questions that you have. With that being said, I want to post our post-event survey just one more time. We do value your feedback. It helps make our work-ready programs and our other virtual programs better based on your feedback and preferences. So with that being said, Jeff, was there anything you wanted to add?
Not too much. Thanks for bearing with my voice as it slowly dies out. But I was very excited to give this presentation and inform job seekers just all the pitfalls that are out there with the job market, because there's more opportunities available online, especially now more than ever. But like with that increased visibility and access comes a lot of potential scams. So just like with anything else, just keep vigilant, look for the red flags, and you'll find the job that you're looking for sure.
All right, thanks for joining us, and we will see you at the next Work Ready program.
Thank you
Have a
all.
good day.